Do you experience interruptions midstream? Are you having trouble keeping up a steady flow of paint? Maybe you need new detents. Hey guys, welcome to Badlands. This is Mason here with some more tips and tricks for maintaining your paintball gear. Today we're going to be discussing when it's time to change your detents, when to recognize it's become a problem, both through the performance of the marker as well as by looking at them and by feel. So we're going to cover several different kinds, but the principle is the same through all of them. The primary symptom of detent failure is barrel rollout or ball rollout, depending on what you want to call it. That simply means that the ball is rolling out of the barrel because it's not staying in the breech, which is what the detent does, is it holds the ball right where it needs to be before it is cycled out or shot out. There are two types of detents in use today. You have rebuildable detents and you have expendable detents. Expendable detents are rubber nubbin type detents like you have in Egos, Geos, basically all Planet Eclipse markers, Tippmann markers, some Empire guns. Now, Empire traditionally used rebuildable detents like in the original Mini and are continuing to use in the Mini GS and sort of a similar type in the Vanquish, but they are also integrating expendable detents in the Axe Pro as well as in the Defender. If you are finding that you are having issues with ball rollout or your detents don't seem to be performing as well as they should and the detents in your marker are removable, it's a fairly simple process to clean and repair them. Remove them, taking a toothbrush and some warm water. If they can be disassembled, by all means take them apart, give them a gentle scrub. Take a look at the breech opening where they go, make sure there's no obstructions, put them back together. Look down through the breech and just reach in with your finger and make sure that they move freely, and that should fix that problem. Recognizing when your rubber or expendable detents are faulty it can be a little bit deceptive. Now, yes, you will have the ball roll out, but there is also a point where they are working but not working at the same time. They're still in the gun, they haven't torn off or anything. They still appear to be fine, but they're not quite performing like they should. So some of the other symptoms you might see would be if your marker is equipped with eyes, just sort of an unexplained eye fault. You know, you have something in the breech and you could see it there, but what's happening is the detents aren't holding the ball right where it should. The ball is rolling forward just slightly and the eyes are seeing past the ball. So sometimes you get an unexplained eye fault when that happens, because then the marker will either fire or it won't, or the ball will break and then, oh rats, now my eyes are a problem. A common issue with rubber detents is that they can swell. They'll still be in their little notch and they'll be doing their job to an extent, but the sort of pad base that they're built around that holds them in place can swell, and that will actually shove an eye cover out of position. What happens then is your eye won't line up and your marker will just fire erratically or it won't fire at all, in addition to problems arising with the fact that your detent is wearing out. So it's important to pay attention to how they're performing. So right before a game, what I like to do is, just to be safe, before I put my barrel on, I put my finger in my breech and I just check to see how the detents feel. Are they soft and slow to come back, or are they rigid and stiff like they should be? Because they may feel rigid and stiff, but they will still lay down. They're only made of rubber. These are the four most commonly seen detents that we have in the market right now. This is a standard Tippmann detent used in all their markers. This is a Planet Eclipse rubber detent used in all of their markers as well. This is out of a Vanquish 2.0, and this is out of a Mini, an original version Mini, but it's the same as the GS, as well as the TM series and the original Axe. These two are rebuildable, and we'll go through that in a second. So we're going to start with the Mini detent here, just to go through how to clean it and maintain it. Using your 5/64 Allen wrench, let's try saying that 5 times fast. Thread it out of the body, and you'll know, and take a look at it. Now, it could be stuck down, it could be just popped right out like this one. Oops. This one wasn't very dirty, just for demonstration purposes. So anyhow, what we will do is, taking a toothbrush, clean the threads so it doesn't get stuck in when you put it back in. And, remove the actual detent piece, check for paint inside. If there is any, scrub it out, rinse it out. Again, warm water usually does the trick. And when you go to put it back in, Allen wrench, lay it down. Now what I do is, when I'm dealing with something relatively delicate like this, I thread it backwards until I feel it drop into the threads, and then I proceed to tighten it in. Helps me avoid cross-threading things or damaging threads. And that's a Mini. The Vanquish is a similar story. Remove it and take a look for obstructions and whatnot. This one, again, fairly clean, nothing to really see here. So we're just going to put it back together. There we are. And because the screw is held in place here, we're just going to very gently. So line that up, thread that down. So getting into the expendable detents, we're just going to check them to make sure that they're good before we put them back in. So taking a look, you want to make sure that it springs back quite well, and that the, as I said, rubber pad here isn't swollen and soft. This one is quite good. It's not overly pliable. So this is a perfectly good detent. So I'm going to drop it in there, and it sits into the recess so it's flush across the top. You can see that there. So then taking our eye cover, we want to make sure that the eye itself is still lined up properly. And again, using our 5/64 Allen wrench, Allen key, whichever you prefer. Again, back in reverse until you feel it drop, and then snug her down in. And that's all there is to changing those. Changing a tipman can be a little bit more involved. In theory, you should be able to change them without even dismantling the gun, but I have yet to make that work. So with an A5, this one's pre-stripped. This is just the body that we're looking at here for demonstration purposes. This is how your detent gets mounted. Sits in the breech, and you can almost make out that perfect round figure there where the ball would sit. And as the ball gets pushed out by the front bolt, the detent lays down, and voila. When the marker recocks, it pops back up, holds the next one in place. Now these can get torn off, these can wear out. Just time is really the enemy of detents. But again, you also want to keep them clean. Also, I've seen people put them in backwards, and then obviously they just get torn off after a couple of shots. So there is that issue. So when you're putting your new detent in, if you are, make sure that you put it in facing the right direction. There we are. And that's all there is to that. Make sure that it is still springy and sits up in a sort of rounded curve. Anything less, and you will see the balls advancing a little bit further forward than they should. You're going to lose efficiency, and eventually you'll see flat out ball rollout. So there you have it, guys. There's some quick points on detents, changing, when to change, how to change, things like that. If you find that you do need some new detents, give us a call. You can find us on Facebook. You can go to our website, badlandspaintball.com, where you can find a full range of parts that we carry. If you can't find what you're looking for, and it is a marker that we carry, by all means, send us an email, give us a call, and say, hey, I need this, and we will do our best to get it for you. As always, this is your friendly neighborhood tech. I'll see you out there.